Over the years, you've done a lot of collaborations as well, and singing on other people's records.
Sure.
I'm always wondering, how does that, like, what influence does that have on your own creative development?
Yeah.
For example, you sang on the Bright Eyes record. Then you're witnessing how people are recording and writing stuff.
Yeah.
But how does that get to your own work?
Well, that's just it. It's like being, it's almost like taking a class with your peers, which you really admire, and it's always interesting to see how somebody writes or records and how they set the scene, or, you know, I remember watching Connor and how he was sort of leading the band and being very supportive, the way that he was drawing out like the best performances in the players, and in the control room with the producer, and being equally as sort of energized about kind of the music and what was going on, and just these ideas flowing, and watching somebody like Ryan Adams and how he writes a song, and very, you know, when I had been in the studio with him, he writes very quickly and like records very fast with his band, and that like showed me something about letting go a little bit more, and trusting in the spontaneity of just a bunch of musicians who kind of get to the core of a song, and not being so maybe controlling or detailed about how every part should be played, which I was at one point. And someone like Dan Wilson, who I've written a lot of songs with, is a very good editor for me, and he's really detailed in like finding the right set of words and making it really concise for certain thoughts. And so each time has been some sort of like master class in how to be a performer, songwriter, producer, and you can only, I think, learn from other people in that respect. Find out what works and what doesn't for you.
Do you feel like you yourself now are the one who gives master classes to other musicians?
It's funny because I just did a tour with Maddie Diaz, and she's a friend of mine, and she opened our shows, and we played the U.S. for a while, and she said to me, I always learn how to do X, Y, and Z watching you, or it's so great how nothing phases you. I'm so anxious, and I'm like, it's fine. I've just seen catastrophes and how to work with them and what to do and not. So that was the first time where I was like, I think she's obviously, studying me in a certain respect in touring life, which I thought was really fascinating.
But you're not conscious of that role?
No, I mean, some people they point out things like, oh, I never would have thought that, or oh, that's how you do it. That's really interesting. So yeah, I don't think all the people I was studying probably weren't conscious of it either. So yeah.
How far do you plan ahead, or how far are you able to plan ahead?
For what I'm doing, basically, I think I'm, especially as an independent artist now, I'm learning to have much more kind of projected timelines because things get booked very, very far in advance. So my brain right now is touring this record first in the US and then in European markets. We're going to Asia, so I'm thinking about all of those releases, but I've also got sort of a 6-song EP that I want to release in the next couple of months, and some residencies I want to do that I have to start planning now if they're going to happen in the fall. And so I can work about a year ahead, maybe not quite that far, but I do block things out and set goals of timelines and things. It never quite works out the way you plan it, but you got to try.
But a new record is far, far away.
Well, I'm not sure. It's always it's tricky for me to write on the road. I really sort of need to be quarantined from life a little bit, and then they just sort of pour out. But I write a lot, and I write pretty fast when that happens. I'll write 200 songs in 2 months or something. So if I can get that time over the summer, then who knows? Because I also like to record very quickly, otherwise they get stale. So maybe, hard to say.
Just a couple of weeks of camping, perhaps?
Yeah, just to pitch a tent and I'll be like, oh, I'm supposed to make a record now. Yeah, exactly.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.